But back to football. Let's get back to football. So the playoff picture is starting to take shape. Um, and there is one team, maybe the hottest team in the league, in the country. Um, Colorado wins again.
On fire.
They beat Utah, who was supposed to be, even though Utah is a bad team or not as good as they normally are because of all the injuries, they're still a good defensive team.
But that Cam Rising injury is who they are. He been hurt for too many seasons. You can't that the promise that's gone. That's who Utah is. They're a pretty decent team, but they were a team at the beginning of the season that was to believe to be better than Colorado. Colorado came in there and beat them handily.
Beat them down 49-24. Travis Hunter, Shador Sanders, that whole team. Colorado has been the most impressive team to me this entire year, from where they started to where they are now, because nobody
I,
believed in them.
I
Nobody
still give
believed in
that
them.
I still give that to Indiana. They are what he's doing is
I,
bonkers.
I agree. I agree. Indiana is impressive, but Indiana had no expectations. Indiana
None.
had
Yeah.
none of the pressure, none of the really vitriol. They got to fly under the radar. Colorado has had every game on national TV.
You're right.
Every game. The
They had
only team.
Jid at the game, Rajon Rondo at the game.
Everybody.
You're right. You're right.
And Dion is now looking like, depending on what side of the coin you are, he's looking like an evil genius or just a genius. When he came out with that explanation of how he recruits,
Yeah, out of
because
the portal.
remember, he was the one that
I
started with
don't
the
think he.
portal, the flip.
I don't think he should have said that out loud though.
Why? At this point, well, so what he said, for those that are listening, he said, we only recruit 10 or 11 players out of high school. And he said that at Jackson State. And he told y'all his first season, he said recruiting is changed forever, which is why I respect him. And because it's everything he said is true. He said recruiting is now changed forever. I'm only going to recruit 10 to 12 high school players, and then I'm going in the portal, because that way I can have immediate results. And if I get the high school players, they know that when we recruit you as a
You gonna
freshman,
play.
you gonna play. Jordan Seaton, and all those other
That
guys.
that was very insightful. If you're right, it's no more. I'm not going to Georgia and sit behind 7 running backs and wait my turn. I can go to Colorado and play right now.
Now there was a little, well, that ain't always true, but there was a little
More
gamesmanship
money.
there. Yeah, there was a little gamesmanship there, because he took shots at Georgia, he took shots at Ohio State, he took shots at Alabama, all the schools that are always in the top 5 recruiting. He took shots because he said, well, their recruiting classes are 38 and 17 of them leave. So if 17 of them leave, you need to re-rank the recruiting classes. And he said, if you re-rank the recruiting classes of people that stay, we're always going to be in the top 15 because
I
our
agree with
players
that.
stay.
I agree with that. With the way that people move around now, that's the reason I look at it and I don't even know what to make of it. Like, oh, okay. By the time that it's time to play football, how many of these players will still be around? And until you can prove that it's going to be a lot, then I'm not. I just play football now. Don't recruit. Don't rank the recruiting classes. Just play football. I'll be able to tell who's good by playing football now. All this pomp and circumstance.
And he said that 3 years ago. And he then, that same year he said that, he got Travis Hunter, who at this point has to be in the top 2 for Heisman, maybe the front runner. I don't know. Ashton
He
Gentry's
is.
putting up video game numbers. But Travis Hunter has 10 total touchdowns, almost 1,000 yards receiving, which he's probably going to eclipse in the next 2 games. 3 interceptions, 8 pass defenses, and 1 forced fumble, while being the number 1 receiver, the number 1 cornerback, and basically shutting down a half of a field. They don't really throw to him anymore. Like, and after this weekend where he had that pick off of that deflected pass, they may not throw to his side of the field anymore.
3 games that he has 3 intercept. I mean, that he has an interception and a touchdown.
And he would
Like,
have more than this. He missed 2 games because of injury.
Correct. But you got to really put that into context. That means there's a drive that he stopped and then he scored. That changes. Like, that's
14 points. I'm worth 14
yeah.
points. Every time I get on the field, I'm worth 14 points. That's hard. That's hard to argue against for the Heisman. That's hard to argue against.
Gentry's like, hey, man, I'm here for 200 yards.
I'm 200 given. 39. I'm 5'9", and they give me more carries than Derrick Henry.
How do you pick between 14 points and well, you got to take the points, but also with the run, you get to get game time.
Every time I touch the ball, it's a first down. Every time I touch the ball, he's averaging like 7 yards a carry. Every 2 times I touch the ball, it's a first down. Every 2 times, no matter what point of the game, we're up, we're down. Every 2 times I touch the ball, it's a first down.
You know what else I'm really happy about this year. Now that I had a chance to think about it here, this is not the year of the quarterback, and it's always the year of the quarterback for the Heisman. And this year, it's like, nah.
Yeah, because they're not gonna give it to Shador.
Yeah,
and Cam Rising lost.
Yeah, so yeah, it's probably out of these 2 guys, and I'm so happy that it's not. Let everybody have an opportunity to win the MVP. It's so many things that are just quarterback centric that make it, oh, he's got to be the person every time. No, let's get some things around here.
Let me ask you a question.
Some opportunities.
Let me ask you a question. Shoot. And I normally try to not have a lot of racial conversations, but when was the last time we had a Heisman Trophy watch with no white finalists? Not one.
That's the reason they didn't let him play quarterback for a long time. We're going to talk about that when we get to jersey sales, because that is surely something interesting. That's very interesting to me, who sells jerseys in the NFL these days.
You got Ashton Genty. You have Travis Hunter. And I think the third person is got to be Shador. That's the only other person. Dylan Gabriel.
Click Heisman watch.
Oh, my bad, y'all. Behind the scenes. Yeah, because I'm going to talk about the playoffs.
Hey, Saints, also, y'all should draft Jalen Milroe. Whatever you got to do, you need to.
We'll get there.
Milroe on your team.
Heisman odds movement. Travis Hunter. Oh, come on, man. There we go. Travis Hunter is now the overwhelming favorite to win at minus 400. Dylan Gabriel went to plus 2,500 after that awful game against Wisconsin. Cam Ward has lost to Georgia Tech. And normally when you lose, you lose.
Get you on right on out of there.
At the end of the day, they going in. Cam Ward is out of there, and then Jalen Milroe can't lose. No, I don't know. That's another question. I need y'all to answer this question. Has anybody lost to Vanderbilt and won the Heisman in the same season?
It ain't that many people
that lost to Vanderbilt, which is why it's a good question.
Milroe is a touchdown machine, though. That is the thing about him. He is a touchdown machine.
Yeah, he run the ball
just enough. Man,
he can throw it. He can run the ball very well. I think he broke the record for rushing touchdowns in a season by a quarterback at Alabama, which was breaking Jalen Hurts' record. But man, when he throws the ball, dog.
Yeah.
Where's Ashton Genty? Oh, Ashton Genty's at plus 375. Mm-hmm. That's disrespectful. This whole graphic is disrespectful. ESPN Bet, ESPN CB. How college football? How y'all have all of these Heisman folks, and you don't have Ashton Genty on there at all, and he's the next person at plus 375 who's going to be a finalist? It's disrespectful. But y'all messed up. You're though. Right. You know why you messed up? Because this man right here, you can't see it. But this man right here told y'all Shador's going to be a top pick, a lottery pick. So is Travis, and Travis is gonna win the Heisman, and we go into a bowl game. And why can't we make the playoff? He said all of those things 2 years ago, or when he got there, 2 years ago, last year. This is year two,
Hey,
last
I
year,
have to give him
and
credit
he
where credit is
is
due.
that
This year, this year's execution has been impeccable,
flawless,
and
flawless.
him and Brock Bowers, they got me. And you was making jokes about his fingers, and look at his left hand, Lord.
Yeah, yeah. That's what happens when you play in the 80s and 90s. There ain't no rules. That's why them dudes that played in the 50s legs be cut off and all of that stuff. So the Buffs won. You got the Heisman, Travis Hunter. Shout out to Colorado superfan Peggy. Was emotional at Folsom Field after the whole crowd sung her happy birthday. Dion has pretty much adopted her as his Colorado grandmama. She celebrated her 100th birthday. She's been a Colorado Buffaloes fan since forever. And they sung her happy birthday. And now Miss Peggy sees to see them go to a bowl game. This reminds me of the lady from, was it St. Mary's? Was it St. Mary's?
Oh, yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah. I know what you're
IUPUI or
talking
one of
about.
them in
Yeah,
the basketball in the NCAA tournament
I
when
know
she was
exactly
there.
what you're talking about. The nun lady. Yes.
Yeah, she was like 90 something, and she passed
Yep.
away. But so shout out to Miss Peggy, man. And hey, sometimes, oh, and she has an identical twin too. Well, she had one. That's crazy. So shout out to Miss Peggy in Colorado.
Peggy been supporting that team for that long. Y'all should have been hired a black man. Peggy could have saw multiple bowl games.
Y'all should name a building after her.
And him.
Yeah. So she cried and she was so happy, and she's in good.
Yeah,
She looks good.
I was gonna say, Peggy, you look damn good for 100.
A hundo, 1924.
Didn't seen a lot. Doesn't seen a lot. Get out of there. Get out of there. Hey, Peg, got a couple of days. I need to know where you were.
About a whole decade worth. I need to know where your stance was, big dog. Where you was at? Where you was at?
You tell us where you were on these dates.
I will let you know if I was singing you happy birthday when I know exactly where your stance was in 19 blah 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 blah. But you said it. I was like,
You was thinking that.
Yeah, of course. That's my mind is always there. And Dion is a sport. He needs to open a sports marketing agency. He has changed everything about Colorado, and to me, it's not about money because Colorado is closer than we are to Oregon. So he has a direct pipeline, and they're sponsored by Nike. So Oregon is going to sponsor everybody on the West Coast. And because he sells so much, he's so influential that they brought back his shoes. And now they're wearing them everywhere. And I'm going to get me a pair of them Atlanta Falcons ones. I don't know how I'm going to get them because they sold out in like 1 hour. But I'm going to get them.
I have the black and gold one. Shout out to the plug.
Shout out to the Alphas.
No.
And Miles College, a.k.a.
Definitely not. And the plug is going to be like, well, hell no. But no, this offer letter is crazy. And like I look at it from the sports marketing positioning of this is like a combination. Number one, his brand is on everything, which is great. His sneaker is on everything. Nike gets good branding. This is as good as it gets. And Colorado, you get to go along for the ride. You're not even, I don't think, doing the majority.
You don't even gotta do nothing. Talk about investment.
You are literally just reaping the rewards of an excellent hire.
You look good, you play good. You play good, they pay good. No, you look good, you feel good. You feel good, you play good. You play good, they pay good. And that was his famous quote.
And putting that on the offer letter also sets the tone. Like, hey, we're gonna get you to the pros. Whether it's actually gonna happen or not, it sets that standard that we're here to win now and to create professional athletes.
And he said, I'm gonna treat you as a professional.
he puts his brand on everything. All right, Nike, you're gonna get yours. Colorado, you're gonna get yours, but also you're gonna see Prime 21 everywhere. That is a different.
Everywhere. And he's coming out with his own show. He's got a whole show that's gonna be on Tubi. Him
Why not?
and Roxy. Is it Roxy? That was on 106 Apart?
Interesting.
Yeah. He's gonna have his own show. So Dion in Colorado, I mean, he says, hey, we flipped the roster. And it seems like everybody was mad at him at first because of the way it happened. But it looks like he just ripped the Band-Aid and dictated how this NIL will go. If you think about it, he dictated how this will go. Because if you remember Dan Lanning, which is, I would love to see them in the playoff replay each other. Dan Lanning was like, clicks over bait and all of that stuff, and talking about Dion, and they tried to score 50 in the first quarter, and Dion said, this is as bad as we gonna be. Let me tell you, if this happens, y'all should put the playoff on pay-per-view, and I'd still pay. If Dion wins the Big 12, and they win and get one of the first round buys, and they win the game, because they're going to have to play a SEC at large. They probably got to play like Ole Miss or Texas. And they can mess around and win that game and then play Oregon in the semifinals or in the quarterfinals to get to the semifinals. Colorado might beat Oregon.
You think Colorado can beat, you said Ole Miss or Texas?
Mm-hmm. I think Ole Miss and Texas will beat each other up. Because they're going to get a bye. Big 12's going to get the bye.
Yeah, wow.
SEC, ACC, no, they're not. Big 12. Yeah, SEC, no, because SEC, ACC, Big 12, Big 10. No, so ACC ain't going to get no bye, and they're not going to give a bye to the Power 5. Well, the Group of 5 conference, I think, gets a bye.
Yeah, and Boise's going to be there. They're going to get one of them.
They're the Group of 5, so they're going to get the bye. That sucks because I don't think they deserve the bye. But I mean, I think Colorado can hang. I think Colorado is putting fear in a few people just because nobody expected them to be this good. And while we're here, because I forgot to say this last week, or maybe I did, and I'm just gonna say it again. Shout out to Warren Sapp, the best grad assistant in the history of grad assistants. He has that defensive line and offensive line, because you remember Warren Sapp came in as a tight end. He has that defensive line and offensive line playing out of this world. They get to the quarterback, they make you uncomfortable, and they've gotten better. That's how I judge a good coach. I don't judge a good coach by, okay, y'all have, like the 2022 Georgia football team, you ain't have to coach that team. The only game you had to coach was Ohio State. Did you freeze?
They were gonna go out there. No. They were. Yeah, no. I'm here, but yeah, you're 100% correct. That team was prepared to win.
Yeah, you didn't have to coach that team. They had what, 15, 20 something? Yeah, in that first, there you go, mostly keeping out of trouble. That first, them two drafts they had, 21, 22, Georgia had 40 players drafted in the first 3 rounds or something crazy like that. You don't got to coach that. But no. When you get
on day one, I've never been so concerned in my life. I said, "Oh no, this is a problem for me."
But when you can get a team like, I think Kirby Smart coaching this year has been one of the better coaching jobs. I think Warren Sapp and Dion coaching this year has been one of the better coaching jobs, because for different reasons, but the same outcome. They have gotten better as the year has progressed, especially the unit of the D-line in the front 7 for Colorado. They have gotten better, and I think that's part of it is the transfer portal, part of it is coaching, because you have to learn the playbook on a very quick basis now. But shout out to Warren Sapp, shout out to Dion. He flipped the coaching staff and the roster, and he's built it, and they will come. And I'm letting y'all know now, the number 1 quarterback in the 2025 class, Juju, from Carrollton, Georgia, who was committed to USC for 10 months, has now decommitted. And it is rumored he is going to either pick between Indiana, Colorado, or Georgia. I think Colorado has the inside track. I think he's favored to go to Colorado. So that means Dion would have gotten the number 1 offensive tackle last year. He got Travis Hunter. He got the number one cornerback in Cormani, but Cormani had some issues. And then you have
and on
Juju.
top of that, he's gonna also at the end of this, he's gonna throw 2 guys into, I assume, top 10 draft picks here. So
easily top 10. Well, yeah, easily. Shador's gonna end up being the number one quarterback. Him or Cam Ward by default. Ain't nobody else. There's Jackson Dart ain't it. Carson Beck ain't it.
Or I mean, I could see certain guys, certain teams want a specific profile of quarterback, but it's gonna be tough.
Giants. Let me tell y'all better get away from that profile. Y'all had a different dude come out there and he won a game, and then you fired him and brought back Eli for 2 years. Y'all had Geno Smith. Geno, who leads the league in passing, Smith was on the Giants and started one game and won, and y'all got rid of him and brought back Eli for 2 more years to be trash. Dude.
What was your boy? Who's always the backup quarterback everywhere? Who got his lung punctured?
Tyrod Taylor. Yeah, y'all stabbed the man in the lungs.
Exactly.
No, that was the Chargers. Chargers stabbed him in the lungs and started Justin Herbert. Like, y'all keep. All right, never mind. Hey, again, 2025. Y'all over there could be terrible. Not my fight. Y'all figure it out. Just like, nope. Let me get out of there.
Like, follow, subscribe. Thank you, my friend. We in for it.